everybody, and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who is a cynic, and how is everybody doing this evening? What's going on? We got Peabody in here, we got Steph, Eric with the K, Tina, Blake Hemlow, Big Daddy Sunbeam, Patrick McDuff, Bro, Jeremy White, Gator Zero just woke up. Very, very nice. I hope you had a good night. Peabody, what's going on, man? What's going on, bro? Soul Assassin, what's going on, bro? Big Daddy Sunbeam, what is going on? Hail to you, sir. Gary North, good evening. Good evening, Gary North. How art thou? Hope everyone is doing swell on this weekend, on this holiday weekend. Yes, I just remembered that I have Monday off. So, yes, thank God. And we also, I'm not teaching on Tuesday, but the kids have the day off. I have to go in for something else, but it might actually be really cool. Normally, professional development is not fun, but we actually have like physicists coming down from Notre Dame who are also theologians, and they're going to talk to us about science and faith and how we can have the curriculum like correspond. So I'm actually really excited for that. So I'm actually happy that we're doing that on Tuesday. Matt G, what's going on, bruv? How is it going? Peabody, Violet wants to hear from her sister. Hey, what's going on, bruv? How's it going? My name is, oh Lord, I'm stuck. My foot's stuck in the, micro. Oh, hi, I'm Ozzy Restica. Nice to meet you. How's it going, Violet? Goodbye. Well, thank you, Ozzy Restica. Anyway, Super Anime Gamer, hey, what is going on? Super Christian Hamill, what's going on, bruv? Patrick McDuff, January 20th is the day of the blood moon. If you didn't know, I did not know. I did not know we had a blood moon going on. That is cool. It's always nice, I think. Like some of the coolest moons ever are when it's got that reddish tint to it, which is, I think, what you're talking about. Isn't that also the harvest moon? Isn't that what it's also called? I know it's got several different names. Outpost Dyer, what's going on, man? Outpost, I got your message on Patreon with your address, but I don't know what color you wanted. So I messaged you back immediately, but I haven't heard from you. I know that you've been having crazy things because you just moved and everything like that, so hope all that is going very, very well for you, and hope the new digs are awesome. So yeah, just get back to me with what color shirt you want, and then I can go ahead and send that to you, because let's see, Laura's already gotten hers and Adam Shawhan got his today, so I think yours and then Jeffrey Toon are the only ones that I have left at this point, because there was another one, but he just disappeared. He took, not only did he take away his patronage, but also he just got off Patreon altogether, so there's no way for me to contact him. So he still do a shirt because he paid for the month, but I don't know how to do that if I'm not able to contact him. Edward Coleman, what's going on, bro? Super says that Notre Dame event does sound cool. Enjoy. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm very, very excited for it. Absolutely excited for it. And guys, if you didn't know, we are indeed watching 12 Angry Men, and this is one of the few movies where I own it, but I don't own it on Blu-ray. I only own the DVD copy, and the reason why is because I wanted to buy this for so long, is ever since I started my Blu-ray collection, I knew that this was one of the films I wanted to have, but every Blu-ray I tried to find was Region B blocked, or it was some other variation, and the only version that was available at the time was the Criterion Collection version, which Criterion does great work, but they overcharge tremendously for their Blu-rays. So this was years ago, maybe like 6 or 7 years ago. So I ended up going with the DVD because the DVD was like $5. So it's like, the Blu-ray that's like $40, like $40 to $50. Like that's how much they charge for it. Maybe it's gone down since then. And then you had the DVD that was $5, and I was like, well, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and get the collector's edition DVD, and I will be happy. And I'm still glad to have it, because as much as I do love digital media, I also do like physical media as well. So if you need a copy of it, Tina, as she just put in the chat, has indeed compiled a list of where you can watch it, of different avenues for you to be able to watch it. So please utilize that list. And Tina, thank you once again for putting that list together. It's always great. Brad Noble, what's going on? Tina says, Criterion is insane. I only buy from them when I have to get something special. No, absolutely right. In fact, the only Criterion Collection movie that I have is Seven Samurai, because it's the only way to get it. With the 12 Angry Men, there are other ways to get it, because I think there was a standard Blu-ray at one point in time, but it's out of print, and so of course now it's just tremendously expensive, and so it would be better to go with the Criterion at this point price-wise. But the only one I have is Seven Samurai, and I didn't even buy that one. I got that one for Christmas because I was like, you know what? I've only seen this movie one time. I would love to have it on Criterion, because not only just to have the higher quality, but also to be able to, eventually look into the behind-the-scenes stuff, making of, and like all the other extra stuff that they put on there. Tina, of course, like seriously, like you are awesome. Like Tina is a rock star for putting all those lists together every single time. Soul Assassin says, Odin, what do teachers do when there's no students around? Do y'all drink coffee and talk crap or something? So basically, if you mean like when we have to go to events at school, so there are certain days when students are off and then we have to go in for, usually it's professional development. So normally we are essentially going to class is what professional development normally is. So normally we're listening to speakers talk to us about how to teach and methods to use in the classroom. And normally it's just one of those things where just as students on most days don't want to be in a classroom, imagine being a teacher and being put in a classroom essentially, or a classroom setting. It's not the very best thing that can happen. So that's why this one actually to me is important, because I do feel like we should have more cross curriculum between our science and theology departments as a Catholic school. So it'll be really cool to have a world-renowned physicist. Dr. Stephen Barr is actually his name. You can probably look him up for yourself. Like world-renowned, written several books, and just a really cool dude and brilliant. Obviously, he's a physicist, and he is also Catholic though. He's also like a part-time theologian, I think is what as how you would describe him, because he's mostly a physicist. Outpost Star says, "Woot! Odin has hit 8K. Damn right, Outpost. It's been insane. Yeah, I mean we're about a few subs away from hitting 8,300, so we are well on the way to 9K. So it's just an absolutely insane. We had a couple days where it was when the whole Star Wars theory was going, all that the whole debacle was going on. That's when the subs just blew up. We had like over 200, I want to say 2 days in a row. And now it's kind of like gone back down to normal growth, but we're still growing, and I'm always thankful for anyone that's new to the channel. Thank you so much for joining, and it's always great to see that constant growth and to try and remain consistent with that. So let's see, JKD Buck, what's going on, man? I feel like I haven't seen that name in a while. Seven Samurai rock, dude. Seven Samurai is one of the greatest movies ever made. No question about it. The only reason why it's not on my top like 2 or 3 lists like 12 Angry Men is because it's such a time commitment. It's a movie that you can't really sit down and watch every week, or even I would say even once a year might be pushing it to an extent. But it's definitely a movie that I know that I want to see it at least one more time. Alexander says, Freya brings Odin out of the closet for live streams where teachers go when they are not in use. Edward Coleman says, Odin, speaking of anger, did you see Leslie Jones comparing erasing the female Ghostbusters to Trump? I did not see that, but it's no surprise that Leslie Jones would say that, especially with all the nonsense that she said after the Ghostbusters 2016 came out. I'm sorry, but if that movie is erased from existence, like as far as the canon is concerned, good. It's a terrible movie. Like, it's a bad movie. Not only is it a movie that no one wanted, but it's just a bad movie to boot. So if that movie's erased from the canon, great. That's fantastic. And I'm sorry, but trying to compare that to a person, like to a president, that's already crazy to begin with. But also, the point that she's trying to make by using that example is absolutely ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Brad Noble says, if Odin hits 10K, he shaves with Gillette razors. Nope, not happening. Not buying from Gillette and not shaving the beard. The people have spoken on that one very clearly. Super says, teachers be like, I already went to school. I became a teacher so I could tell others what to do. Get me out of here. No, seriously, that's pretty much what it is. But also, these are people who are the people that teach these classes, the professional development, have been out of the classroom for years. And so they've been spending that time doing research. And so they come to you trying to say like, oh my gosh, like this and this and this. And I used to use these. And it's like, oh, when were you a teacher? Oh, like 10 years ago. It's like, okay, well, things have changed kind of since then. But also, no school's the same. Like, the problem with the professional development and the teaching methods in general is that they try to make it uniform. They try and make it standard where you have to teach this way. The problem is that not every student and not every school region is the same. So if we try to bring in some of the things that they want us to bring in certain situations, like the students would, 1, tune out, and 2, would just hate us even more, because it's already bad enough that they're in school. But if, God forbid we ask them to get up and move around, they'd be like, why am I doing this? So it's just, JKD says, why are the 12 men angry? Did they watch The Last Jedi? Yes, you have figured it out. That's why this movie is seriously ahead of its time, because it knew about The Last Jedi before we did. 12 Angry Men. It is the precursor, the prequel to The Phantom Menace. Many people don't know that, JKD Buck, so thank you for pointing it out. Will Gentry says, don't get me started on Gillette. Already had to bite my tongue for the sake of family harmony. So frustrating. Yeah, and again, it's one of those things where the overall message, which is to be kind, there's nothing wrong with that message. And that's what I think a lot of these crazy people on the other side are trying to like say like, oh, you're trying to say that being a good person is bad. It's like, no, we're not saying that at all. We're trying to say that the message is crap in the first place by trying to assume that there's this toxic masculinity that is pervading the culture. Like, again, does it exist? Like, I wouldn't call it toxic masculinity, but do I think that there are some guys who are jackasses? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I wouldn't say that it's the vast majority. I wouldn't say that you could equate boys will be boys or kids fighting and wrestling and things like that this to the exact same thing as like men who rape and things. Like, I'm sorry, like there's no correlation between the two, and for them to try and essentially assume that there is downright ridiculous and stupid. So yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Like, that's just ridiculous. Outpost Dyer says, Odin, I think the education system needs an overhaul. What is your perspective since you are a teacher? No, I agree, and that's the reason why, especially when you start talking about issues like Common Core, it's one of those things where it's complicated because people are very much like, no, I don't want the government telling us how to educate. But then at the same time, the ACT and tests like that you need in order to get into good colleges, because that's the way the standard has been set, use those same standards. And so when schools and when states say we reject Common Core, you know, part of you is like, well, yeah, I think that the states are the ones that should control it. But then at the same time, as a teacher, I'm like, yeah, but we can't just reject Common Core, because guess what? Those same Common Core standards that are being used at the national level and being adopted by other states are the same standards that are used on things like the SAT and ACT. And so if we reject them, if we ignore it, if we refuse it, or just pretend to do something else entirely, we're leaving our own students at a disadvantage. And so I do think that there definitely needs to be an overhaul. But for me, I still believe, though, it should be at the state level. Again, I don't think the whole Department of Education and like nationalized education, I understand it to an extent. I think that there's definitely an argument that could be made, but also as like a more libertarian-minded person, when I think about what is in the Constitution and what powers are delegated to the federal government, education is not one of them, and therefore I don't think it's legal based just purely on constitutional law. So it's one of those things where I think that something needs to be done. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert about how we can fix things, but I would say that let the states decide, because guess what? You got 50 states. All of them can try different things, and if certain things work, boom, those things can be adopted by different states. If other things don't work, if those things fail, well then good, we'll know that we can't do that. The problem when you do things at a national level is that our country is so big and every region is so different that if you try and have one blanket way of doing things, you know, it's not going to work the same in the north as it does in the south. It's not going to work the same in the city as it does in the rural areas. It just doesn't work that way. So yes, we do need one, but it's definitely something I think that would be better left to the states. G-Monkey says, when Odin hits 10K, he tries to put 10,000 things in his beard. Now that would be funny. Patrick Duff says, Odin, what's playing on the TV in the background? So that is just a screensaver. Yeah, so whenever you have I have a Roku player, and whenever you have a Roku player and you don't use it for a while, it just has a natural screensaver that it has going on. I think it's to stop from image burn on certain televisions and things, which is brilliant of them to do it. But I started watching The Punisher, and I'm kind of mixed on this season. I don't think it's nearly as strong as season 1 yet, and there are definitely a few things that have grinded my gears. Like, for example, a woman with no muscle mass standing toe-to-toe with Frank Castle. I'm sorry, but just like realistically, that just doesn't work. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, no. If this person actually got punched in the face by this other person, they wouldn't be getting back up. Like, I'm sorry, it would not work that way. So there's things like that are in this season, but it's not like it hasn't totally taken over the season yet. So I'm still very early. I'm about 3 episodes in, and I want to see more. So that's what's playing in the background. Super says, I know what you're talking about all too well. I went to a private school, and my friends and I were aware of school problems, and our teachers were great with us, but the bosses had no idea. No, exactly right. Again, they are well-intentioned, but unless you're actually in the classroom, it's very hard for me to take what you have to say seriously. You know, it's just, you have to actually be in the classroom with the current students as they are. Alexander says, how long before incest becomes a part of the LGBT community? Well, keep this in mind that there are different parts of the LGBT community, because I know people who are gay, and they are not a part. They do not consider themselves to be a part of it because of the fact that it's become so politicized, because of the fact that there is a militant political wing of that group. But we, just like with any other group, just like with any other organization, just like with any other social group, there are always going to be different groups and different subsections of that group. And so there are definitely people out there right now who hold that as being fine. Like, they're just people. It's not a part of the mainstream yet, but At some point in time, it probably will, because as long as you continue to pander to the most extreme parts of any group, you're never going to end up with something good. Peabody says, education, aged care need a major overhaul. What does the Australian government do? They give $40 million to Fiji so they can have a rugby team. Wow. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Wow, yeah, that's a waste of money. Yeah, I mean, I can go off for days about all of the way that we waste money in our own country on research. For example, there was a research that was done that was like thousands and thousands of dollars were spent on this research, and it was with shrimp running on treadmills. If you don't believe me, look it up for yourself. You can find the videos, and that was something that was funded by the United States government. And so, yeah, there's a lot of fat that we could cut away from our government. Frank says, arf, guess what? Everyone's daddy is pregnant. I to Frank will be a dad again. Oh, Frank. Can't you can't keep yourself in control, can you? Super says, I compromise. Abandon Common Core in the mainstream courses, but allow it for college prep that teaches you how to pass the SAT. But essentially, so Super, the only problem with that is that you are then, therefore, teaching at Common Core standards, just not calling it Common Core. So you kind of see how it's like a little bit like, you can't really, yes, you can do that. And I guess if that's a way to trick the states, but at the same time, it's like, no, like, it's one of those weird things. I see where you're getting at, but there's still also problems with it as well. Hopefully you see what I mean by why there's problems with that. Alexander says, that's why I put it in quotes. Soul Assassin, did you hear that guys are buying those No Ma'am t-shirts from Married with Children to tease the feminists? I love it. I mean, I love seeing that as people's profile picture. I want to say that Adam has that as his, I think Google, on Google Hangouts, that's his image, and I love it. It's so great. Al Bundy for president. That's what I got to say. All right, let's see. Frank says, it is all Moist's fault. He said, get moist, so I did. That is one way to do it. CWD Trixie, what is going on? That was just a shrimp weight loss program. It's hard for a shrimp to lose weight when they go from salad to jumbo. That's right, weight loss. Oh my God. Oh, the stupidity of our government. And yet they want more money. Yeah, no thank you. Anyway, let me give a shout out to my patrons: A Grey Jedi, Adam Shawhan, Dave Bob, Delete System 32, Donald Hudson, Edward Coleman, Enrique Evangelista, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Weeder Dog clan, who's going to be a father once again, Greta Zenner, who is unfortunately at work and will not have trivia for us, Harold Francis, the Hunky Chunky, Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Ultra Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, Laura Story, Matthew Kadish, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin, Outpost Dyer, Perpetual Punster, Proper Jeremy, the DJD Show, Those Two Ball Guys, Tina B, and Wolfgang Lounge. Thank you very much for being patrons. You are all amazing. And also, if you are a $5 or more patron, a new episode of the Odin's Movie Blog podcast has gone live. It went live around noon today. So go ahead and check that out if you have it. It's about 30 minutes long. I tried to keep it a little bit shorter than my last ones have been, but also I asked for your help to know what content you want me to cover in the future. Laura has already given some great examples. She wants me to do some more interviews, for example, to maybe interview someone like Greta, as seeing that she is a SAG member, so it'd be interesting to get her perspective on movies and film in general. And if you've never checked out her channel, she has a really great channel, does some really great stuff with her videos, but also interviewing some other people as well, some non-Asgardian people, maybe getting some special guests, like maybe a Matthew Kadish or someone like that onto the show. So that would be really exciting to do. Maybe get Ivan Ortega. That'd be fun. Super says, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, so it's essentially the same thing. Again, Super, I understand what you're trying to say, but it's the same curriculum, essentially, is what's being said there. Alexander says, Adam's getting more wieners. Dude, never can have enough wieners. Never can have enough. Shawhan says, okay, so Frank went 40 minutes while World Class BSers Jeff Hicks was on. Then he went the next day 50 while Moist was on. The one thing Moist beat World Class BSers Jeff on so far. Nice. Outpost Dyer says, so I have been following how long Mark Hamill has been active for filming EP, and it's been a few months, and they haven't announced his end date. Is this a good sign? If they haven't announced his end date yet and he's still on set and therefore he is still there for filming, it seems to indicate that his part is not going to be just a small cameo, or at least that's what it seems to indicate. Now, there could be many things going on post. They could be they're doing it on purpose to try and throw people off. It could be that they're filming, sequences of a Force Ghost. I mean, that is obviously, I think, the most likely thing that's going to happen at this point. Could also mean maybe he's going to be alive or they're going to do flashbacks. I don't know. But him being on set, the longer he's on set and the longer that his finish to the film is not announced, then obviously I think the the more likely it is that he's going to have a bigger role than they might want us to think. Edward Coleman says, still haven't figured out how to upgrade on Patreon. Help me, please. Okay. From what I know, if you go to your page, you should be able to go to your memberships, and then you should have an option that says edit membership. And then it'll bring you to the page, and then you can choose whatever tier that you want to join. That's what I think that you do. I'm not entirely sure because I'm not my own patron, so I don't know. Maybe someone else can help you, but I'm pretty sure you just go into your own personal page, your memberships, and then you can edit your pledge there. So thank you, Coleman, for wanting to do that, though. I appreciate it. G Monkey says, why can't 2 + 2 = 4? My nephew came home with some new math, and there is no way I could help him, and he's only in the 2nd grade. I have Chicago public school education, and I'm doing well, says G Monkey. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So basically, because I think people are conflating the two things. I think people are conflating Common Core with some of this new math stuff. Now, am I saying that they're totally, entirely separate? No, but they're definitely not the same either. Like, Common Core is a standard, meaning that if you're at this level, you should be able to do these things. If you're at this level, you should be able to do these things. And therefore, teachers of things like English and math can try to teach to those standards and try and make sure that every student is mastered on those levels before moving on to the next one. So that way, eventually, when they take the SAT, ACT, go to college, they'll be up to the standard being set. That, I think, is a byproduct, at least at the lower levels. And I understand what you mean by that. The whole changing math and everything, that, again, it's well-intentioned. It's very much well-intentioned, but they obviously are not doing a very good job at it. Proper Jeremy says, thank you for waiting until after the Council of Jeremys to do this stream. I know you can't work with me. How can I make things right? Proper Jeremy, there's so many things that you need to do in order for us to work together. But no, man, I'm glad that it worked out that way. We'll be starting the movie in about 8 minutes or so, right around 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. Giant says, sorry, buddy, just wanted to explain to you. I'll be on Bonnie's stream as yours is going on, but I'll have you on the background as I always do. Sounds good, Adam. Yeah, Bonnie just hit 200 subscribers. That's awesome. She's gonna be celebrating that tonight, and she wanted me to go on there, but I'm not gonna have enough time to do that, unfortunately. So definitely send my love. I hope she has a good stream. Alexander says, did you get the idea that YouTube demonetizes you for saying they suck in the title? I did not know that. Wouldn't surprise me, though, because they're that petty. Bro Jeremy White says, what's your favorite film? Mine is Jaws. Jaws is an excellent film. My top 3 favorite films of all time are one we're watching tonight, 12 Angry Men, and also Casablanca and It's a Wonderful Life. So those are my all-time favorite movies. And there are other movies that are in my top list. And at some point, I'm going to, actually sit down and make like a top 10 all-time list, because, that way I can say, oh, you want to know? Boom, here's the list. Go check it out for yourselves. So those are like the top 3 that I have, though. Jaws is great, though. Do like Jaws. Jaws would probably be my top 100. Good God, I don't think I could ever do a top 100 list. That would drive me absolutely insane. Super says, what do you think is the chance of us abandoning SAT and ACT? And on a related note, can I ask, what do you think about standardized testing? I hate standardized testing. I think standardized testing is stupid. I think that it's one of the worst things that we have. I think that you can't judge the intelligence of a student. You can't judge the promise of a student by a test. Like, I'm sorry, you cannot judge the promise of a student by how well they do on a standardized test, because it is known at this point. It is known by fact that there are some students who test better than others, period. And even though they might have the same amount of knowledge, just because someone can take the test better does not mean that they're smarter. Like, that's what bothers me all the time, is because some of these kids come by and they're talking about their ACT scores, and some of them are just so embarrassed because their scores are so low. And it's one of those things where it's like, no, this does not determine or say that you're stupid. And I think that's one thing that we need to really get away from. That's why I hate standardized testing, because I think it makes students who don't reach a certain level feel stupid. And I think that's not a good thing to have in a kid's life. Now, I'm not trying to say do away with grades. I'm not going that far. Obviously, they need to know, that they can do certain things well and not do certain things well, and that's what grades are important. But when it comes to standardized testing, and because colleges put so much weight behind them, I don't think they're going to go away for that reason, because colleges are invested in them. The industry itself, SAT, is gigantic. It's a gigantic organization. ACT is the same way. The standardized testing has just taken over at this point. So I don't see it going away anytime in the near future. No question. It's going to, in order for it to go away, there would need to be something huge happen, like some huge breakthrough happen, or something happen in a, at the legal or court level, which I just don't see happening. Super says, oh God, what have they done to math now? The last major change that you heard about. So nothing's happened recently, but the same crap that they were playing with a few years back when it got into the news, like I want to say like it was like, what, 8 or 9 years ago, it got into the mainstream, like, oh my gosh, they're doing all these things to math. And it's still the same thing. They're just now, I think, putting it out in more schools. Brad Noble says, proper Jeremy needs you to manscape. Oh, maybe I'll just mansplain instead. Don Draper says, I love the original 12 Angry Men, but George C. Scott crushed the remake. He didn't even show up to accept his Golden Globe, just like he didn't show up to accept his Oscar. Well, the remake is just, one, unnecessary, and two, like, just, why? Patrick McDuff says, Jeremy just uploaded a new video with the title Woke Busters on the thumbnail. That's fantastic. Will Gentry says, I'd never be able to create a list like that, not one in a rigid order. I change my mind way too often on what my favorite movies is to be able to actually rank them. I'm the same way. Like, depending on the day determines what my favorite movie of all time is. That's why I give you all 3, because it usually is between those 3. And if I did a top 10 or top 20 or top 100 list, it would be the same way, where it would just be like, yeah, they would change constantly over time. And then when you see new movies, then you have to be able to say, okay, well, where does it fall on that list? And really the only way that you can determine whether a movie is one of your all-time favorites is time. Because if a movie is able to fight up against other films and still consistently stay up at your top of the list, well, then that's when you know it's a great movie. So time is one of those things too. Tina says, I heard once that Einstein didn't test well, so much for testing. No, seriously, like tests. As far as like standardized testing, again, testing in school I think is important. Grades are important because it lets us know where a student is failing or what a student struggles with. And that's important because then you can work on those things. So that's why I don't think we should get away with doing the whole, let's not do grades thing is kind of silly to me. And that's the reason why, at the end of the day, that's where I stand on it. Now, if we were going to talk about doing individual grades per class, but then at the end of the year, you either pass or fail, I might be open to that kind of a system. That way people can't say, oh, you got a C in this grade and not know anything that was going on during that time of your life versus, oh, you passed. Then everyone's on essentially the same page, but you do get individual grades throughout that year because obviously you need to know how well you're doing, etc. Maybe. I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that, to be honest. Soul Assassin says, Odin, they're trying to pass a bill to remove the STAR test in Texas. Interesting. I don't know what the STAR test is, but I'm assuming it's a standardized test. Rogue Baron, what's up, Madman? What is going on, Rogue Baron? How is it going, bruv? How's it going? Bjorn is here. What's going on, Bjorn? Journeyman says, I agree. I know people who place movies in their all-time list immediately after seeing it. Like, really? No, seriously, if you were to see a movie that changed your life or you thought changed your life, you won't really know if it has until, like, at least a month or so after you've seen it. Because if you still remember that movie after a month, and if you still love that movie after a month, then it might actually have some staying power. But also, too, a movie, you need to, like, at some point also rewatch it. Because if it doesn't have that same magic, you might not like it nearly as much on a different day. So, anyway, guys, it is about that time to get the movie started. So I'm actually going to go ahead and try. I'm using different headphones for this because the big ones are great. But overall, they also get very hot over the stream. And it'll just be nice to have some smaller headphones to be able to keep track of everything that's going on. Let's see what we got. Bro Jeremy White says, would you ever get through a Goodfellas watch with all that swearing? I would. Yeah, I mean, I would be fine with it. Dude, bruv. It's not like I don't watch movies that don't have that kind of stuff in it. Super says, I was still in middle school 8 years ago. I missed the math news. Well, not every school does it either. So, like, my school, we don't do it. It's mostly public. It's mostly in public schools and in certain states that have adopted these new ways of doing things. And then John Draper says, the most unnecessary remake was Lawrence Kasdan's remake of Double Indemnity with Body Heat. I didn't even know they remade Double Indemnity. That's stupid. That's so stupid. Double Indemnity is a fantastic movie. That is a classic. Bruv. Blake Hemlow, have you watched The Godfather? Part 1 and 2. I love them both. I might like Part 2 more, though. I like how it explains the origins of the story. I love the characters and how they're fleshed out. And the ending to me is just brilliant. It's just absolutely fantastic. So, All right, Outpost got your message, so I will take care of that as soon as the stream is over. Let me go ahead and get my movie set up. CWD says, how would you handle yourself if you were stuck on the satellite of love and forced to watch bad movies? Oh my gosh. I don't know if I would survive. If I was forced. It also depends. What do you mean by bad movie? If you mean movies like The Room, like funny bad movies, I'd be okay with that. I'd survive. But if you mean having to watch The Last Jedi over and over again, or having to watch, oh God, having to watch any Al Gore film or some bad documentary, that'd be painful. Oh man, Alexander says, did you see my attempt at a Game of Thrones meme on Discord? No, I did not. Because I do keep up with the Discord, but I'm not living in there either. So we are about to start the movie, so we're not quite there yet. So you have time to get things together. Wait, what? Region not specified. Really? Is the player I have open? That could be cool. Oh, I lost power on my screen for some reason. That was interesting. I hope that doesn't happen again. Let's see. Soul Assassin says, I was watching Indiana Jones, and when he snuck out the back window to escape the students, and the only thing that came in my head was Odin might do that. Man, I wish I could be an Indiana Jones-like teacher. That'd be awesome. That'd be so cool. Oh, it's been so long since I've seen the... How do I wear these? So these are actually my wife's, because she got I guess you just wear them like this, like normal earbuds. These are like those, like last generation before they went to the USB-C, or no, the Lightning headphones for Apple products. 'Cause I don't have Apple products, my wife does. So these are like from the last phone that she got, but I guess I'm wearing them correctly. So I can click on this one, but I can't click when it's a Blu-ray? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. All right, guys, so make sure you get your copies ready. Super says, I personally prefer regular tests, but there are other kids that like projects. I think exams or real-life applications are the best way to show off kids' skills or grasping information. I would agree. That's why most of the time when you do like projects, you usually offer not just a written component, but normally you offer something else. That's why when I do my projects, what I do is this year especially, I do a written component, and then also I make them do a presentation, because then they can put together a PowerPoint and do things like that, because every person's going to have a different kind of skill. All right, guys, let me just go ahead and get my handy dandy clock up and running. Let's see. Online clock. There we go. I'm glad that it's like saved in this, because it just makes my job so much easier. Let's see. Patrick McDuff says, I like some bad movies. I like Spider-Man 3. I know it has issues, but Sony interfered, but I still like it regardless. Yeah, I mean, it's a bad movie. It's one of those where it's so bad it's funny type movies. So I understand where you're coming from about that movie. Super says, ew, Apple, Android, PC, Master Race. Yep, I am a Android person, and I am PC. And yes, I mean that in every single way that you think I mean. Autumn Leaves, that's new. Welcome, Autumn Leaves. Odin, I love your content, and I enjoy watching your dogs in the background. Well, Autumn Leaves, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Everyone loves the dogs. Everyone loves the poopas, and they're outside with the mama right now. So they will not be making an appearance. Maybe a little bit later they'll make an appearance. But yeah, I love them too. It's always funny to see them in the background. When I rewatch the videos to make sure that it plays correctly, it's always great to see them in the background, and especially during the live streams, because normally Willow will fall asleep, and she'll usually just put her head right on the couch right here, and you can just see her, and she's just sleeping, and she's so cute. All right. Anyway, guys, are you ready? Yeah, the poopas, the dogs, the poopas. Soul Assassin says, what's your guilty movie you like to watch? Ooh, guilty pleasure movie. I guess The Room. I love The Room. It's one of the worst movies of all time, but I love it. It's so funny. I'll go to midnight screenings at least once a year. But is everybody ready? Let me go ahead and get the ready sign, and then we'll get this started. And guys, if you're not watching the movie along with us, that is okay. You can stay in the chat if you want to, and I will do the very best I can to go back and forth between the two. And yeah, you guys are awesome. Once my Valkyries are ready, that's when it's game over, man. All right, Heathen Breathe the Fire is ready. Tina, yes, Leo the Lion is growing on me. Make him stop. Will Jenner says, guilty pleasure was Superman 3. Interesting. Very interesting. I've actually never seen. I've seen the original Superman, but I haven't seen it since I was a kid, and I've never seen anything else. So it was just never. I could never get into it because the CGI, though it holds up for its time, I could never get into it. Big Daddy Subbeam is ready. Tina and Steph, hello. Are y'all ready? I mean, geez, I know that y'all talking it up with the chat, but Lord, can we start, please? Xanadu! Oh, man, that's awesome. Super says, 1957 version, right? Never seen this before. I'm sad. Oh, it's the original. Yes. There is only one version. Technically, there are two, but there is only one legit version, and it is the 1950s. So, no starting. Oh, we're starting. All right, anyway, guys. So, we're going to be starting the movie in 3, 2, and 1. So, yes, it is the hour and 35-minute version. So, Lion just roared with the MGM logo. Scene shot right outside the courthouse. What's brilliant about this movie is that the director and writer had also written the play as well. And it is essentially filmed as the play was on Broadway. And that's why I think it works so well. You can't do that with every movie, but with this one, since the entire movie essentially takes place inside the jury pool, the jury room, it's brilliant. It's wonderful. Somebody says, quit being so sassy you didn't even share your candy. I have not, because how do I send it? How do I share it? Not to mention, the cast for this movie, it might be one of the greatest cast of all time. And I mean that. It might be one of the greatest cast of all time. Sophie says, Odin was gifted a huge box of candy. Yep, and it was awesome. You're welcome, Brad. That was for you. Also, the fun fact, so I've been called to jury duty twice in my life because I was out of state for a long time, so I wasn't eligible for several years. First time I ever got called in, I was put on a jury. It's a civil trial, but I was still put on a jury. Not gonna lie, the whole time I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be just like 12 Angry Men. And it kind of was, a little bit. However, the one person that disagreed with us was wrong and didn't change his mind and just said, oh, whatever, if that's what y'all think. Heathen Breathe Fire, I'll take a pepperoni pizza in the mail and a carton of smokes if you got I had some pepperoni pizza for dinner, actually. The judge just looks so into it. He looks so into it. Oh, those alternates, they'll never know. Those poor guys, they'll never know. Let's see. Alexander says, better than Game of Thrones cast. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, no question. No question. Better than most cast, I would say. Peabody says, it's Quincy. Quincy? What do you mean? I saw Oscar. What? Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Like, seriously, the whole time you're looking at the cast, you're like, Oscar. That kid, that look, it's just, look at that. That transition. Not only is it amazing how they used to edit these films in 1957, like manually, but then that, and still, easy, simple title card. And here you will go down every single cast. Henry Fonda, Lee J. Cobb, might be one of the best villains of all time, Lee J. Cobb. Ed Begley. Oh, my goodness. Jack Klugman. Jack Klugman is an amazing actor. He was in several episodes, or a couple episodes of Twilight Zone, and it's wonderful. G Monkey says, don't forget Piglet. Autumn Leaves says, do you do community movie watching regularly? I came upon this stream by chance tonight. Autumn Leaves, okay, very cool. Every Saturday, yeah, I let you guys choose a genre and then a movie, and then we all watch it together and just talk about pretty much anything. But yeah, every single Saturday we do a movie stream. So Autumn Leaves, welcome to the channel. Oh, I forgot Henry Fonda had produced this. Alexander says, you think people in 1957 acted as well as they do right now? It's different. Sidney Lumet. Talented man. Every single character has their place in the story, and that's why I love this movie so damn much, man. It's so good. I would say the acting styles have changed over time. I would say that pretty much every performance in this movie outdoes everything that we have seen in today's modern world. Is what I would say. Patrick McDuff, 12 Angry Men could never fly today's world. It would be 12 Angry Women. Yep, absolutely. So, not going to lie, they did a revision of this show at a all-girls school here where I am, and they called it 12 Angry Women, and they've changed certain elements of the story. And I was like, I'm never seeing that, and that is awful because this is a classic. Peabody says, sorry, before your time, old 80s series, Quincy, me. Yeah, I definitely never saw it. Hottest day of the year. Also, I love how you never find out any names until in the movie you find out names at the very end. That's not really spoiling anything. But in the play, that the last part, the part that happens, all the parts that happen outside, other than the judge's part, is all stuff added from the movie, obviously. Oh, Jack Klugman. Great. Never realized they locked the door. Oh, Jack Klugman was Quincy. I gotcha. Autumn Leaves says, thank you, Odin. This is wonderful. I love film and enjoy being with everyone in the chat. Well, Autumn Leaves, thank you for being here. This is great. Yeah, I love film as well. I mean, obviously, this is a film channel. And it's really great to be able to focus on film at least one day out of the week. I love this guy so much. He's such... So, fun fact, I was in a production of 12 Angry Men in high school. My best friend played the guy with the... I call him the nerdy guy with the glasses. Opened and shut case. Rogue Baron says, just say you are a privileged white male and feel ineligible to give an unbiased opinion to others if you ever call dirty to me. Alexander says, but 12 Angry Men is sexist. I would agree. Awesome, Tina. Thank you. Heathen Breed and Fire, ever seen the series Lazarus Man? No, never seen it. Patrick McDuff, have you watched The Professional 1994? No, I have not. Actually, I've never seen that before. John Fiedler, he was one of the most famous Star Trek original series episodes. Really? That doesn't surprise me then. He seems like he'd be a Trek guy. Also, I've decided that I don't like these headphones. So y'all keep watching and I'll transition over because I've already seen this several times over. I just love all the interactions with every single character. The reason why I was trying this is because I don't like having this on with my hat. It's just very uncomfortable. Little behind the scenes. There we go. That's better. Will Gentry says, modern acting seems to be all about making a spectacle of yourself. There is no subtlety anymore. After all, acting is really reacting to what just happened, not making something happen. Yeah, I'd agree with you there. I think you definitely have a good point. Soul Assassin, Odin, watch The Professional. It's amazing. I've heard that. Bjorn, Odin is transitioning. Damn right, man. Mr. Foreman, come on here. So my best friend was that character, the character with the glasses, who's kind of a nerd. Love him, though. And then I was, funny enough, I was the old man. And you'll know who the old man is. There's one who's older than everyone else. I was that man. And the first show, we tried putting like some silver spray in my hair to make it gray. It looked awful. So every other performance, we did baby powder. And it worked. But I literally couldn't move my head because I had a lot of hair, and if I moved it even a little bit, puffs of smoke would come off, essentially. And so whenever we would do our bow, at the very end, I would just whoosh my hair down, and it would be a giant cloud of baby powder, and it was hilarious. This guy. You're a real baseball plant, aren't you? Oh, no, Dave Bob, sorry to hear that. Yeah, a storm just came through Louisiana, so It's getting cold down here. It's going to be down in the 30s tonight where we are. Blake says, my uncle was in a movie. He was on the jury in a courtroom scene. I just don't know the name of the movie. Was it Runaway Jury? Blake, was it Runaway Jury by chance? Henry Fonda. What a legend, man. This is my favorite film of his. My second favorite, Yours, Mine, and Ours, with Lucille Ball. Wonderful film if you've never seen it. They're both great in it. I was that old man. Tina says, going to get down to 18 here. Damn, that's awesome. Patrick McDuff says, what do you think of the Parent Trap movie? The first one? I love the first one. The original's great. The second one with Lindsay Lohan? No, thank you. There I am, guys. The old... Oh, forgive me, gentlemen. I've never... I love it. I love that character. Tina, oh my gosh, I haven't seen Yours, Mine, and Ours in years. It's so good. Blake, it was filmed in Nova Scotia, Canada. Wait, this film, Blake? Or wait, no, we were talking about something else. What movie were we talking about? Oh, the movie that your uncle was in. Okay, I got you. Yeah, because this definitely would not have been filmed out of the United States at this time in history. Tina, oh my gosh, I got that one. Autumn Leaves, what genre of film do you enjoy the most besides the comic book based movies? It's a good question. I tend to like dramas the most, actually, to be perfectly honest. They tend to be my favorites. As you can tell, my top 3 favorite of all time are It's a Wonderful Life, Casablanca, and 12 Angry Men. But I love action films too. But I'd say dramas. Good question. Big Daddy Sunbeam, Grace of Wrath. Nice. He the Breathing Fire. Ever seen The Mouth of Madness? Never. This first vote. So the state of Louisiana, up until this past year, had a law on the books that on certain trials, you could convict somebody with 10 votes. So you could have a 10-2 vote and it would count. You didn't need a unanimous jury. We just had a vote on a provision to change that, and the state pretty much overwhelmingly rejected it, and we're now unanimous in all court decisions, which I think is actually a good thing. I agree with it. And this movie is one of the many reasons why I think it's a good system. Heathen Breathing Fire. Well, in that case, ever seen John Q? I've never seen John Q, actually. Blake, thanks for highlighting my comment on your latest Star Wars Episode 9 video. I just noticed it earlier today. No problem, Blake. I try and read as many as I can, so if there's one that I like, I always try and give it a heart. Soul Assassin, have you seen History of the War Part 1? Yes, so good. Bro Jeremy White. Find for you The Insider with Al Pacino. Ooh, yeah, I've never seen that one, actually. Autumn Leaves, I saw Maltese Falcons. Great. Yeah. Also, every time I see this movie, all I can think about are my friends in theater who did these different roles. You can suppose anything. Also, I love how there's a clear cut of bad guys, good guys, and then like the ones in the middle. It's great. It's a great breakup. I wish we had more movies that had that kind of a character breakdown. Blake Hemlow, have you watched Mission Impossible Fallout by chance? Yes, I did, and I loved it. It was in my top 10 movies of the year of 2018. what also I love is the fact that even though this is a play that was turned into a movie, it still feels like a natural conversation. I love it. Knowing what he is, lived among them all my life. I love the old man. Like, because even all the tangents, they all make sense because that is totally how people would act in this situation, you know, because not everyone would take the same thing seriously. Heathen Breathe Fire. Ever watch Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead? I've seen parts of the movie, but I actually saw a stage production of it because my little brother was actually in a production of it, and he was Rosencrantz. Alexander says, did you hear about how Netflix played the high ground with House of Cards and fired Kevin Spacey, then still tried to continue to get an ass bitten by the audience? Well, everyone knows about that. I only was into like the first season of House of Cards, and then it kind of I lost interest. I also love this movie because it's a great educational film about how the core system works or is supposed to work. And like what, again, talking about burden of proof is what the entire film is about, is expert. Soul Assassin says, Odin has a little brother. His name would be Loki by any chance? No. No, Soul. Lee J. Cobb is one of my favorite actors, and he is great at playing the villain. If you want to know another great Lee J. Cobb movie where he plays a villain, By the Waterfront is just... so good. Heathen Breathing Fire says, ever watch Equilibrium? I did, and I liked it. I have friends who hated it, but I liked it personally. I thought it was fun. Yeah, he was in The Exorcist. You're right, Tina. I forgot about that. G-Monkey, I had no idea. That's awesome, and that actually makes a lot more sense. Oh, back in the day when everyone would smoke indoors. Shara Smith, Rear Window is fantastic. Definitely one of the best. The L Train. Oh, such a great line. You believe the old woman's story? Well, she's one of them too, isn't she? It's like, boom, got it. Number 5, no names, just numbers. Jack Klugman. What a boss. Random Nerd of Doom. What is up, man? How's it going? Great name. Also, what's great, too, is that this is kind of how I judge this film, is the fact that almost every single one of these actors is in at least one episode of The Twilight Zone, which is one of the greatest TV series of all time. He That Breathed the Fire. Please tell me you've seen They Live. No, never seen it. What kind of movie is that? And I love movies, but there are still a lot of films that I have not seen. All right, He That Breathed the Fire. Well, if at some point we get that movie nominated for a week, I would absolutely be down for watching anything. So, it's also a really great commentary on where how we always should understand where someone comes from and how they might have gotten to a point. So it's all been said. But it's also great to see like a great character breakdown as each one gives their own motivation to why they think someone's guilty, because each one comes from a different place, each one uses different pieces of evidence, and it's just interesting to see like what has convinced them beyond a reasonable doubt that there is someone. Don Draper, I left a time-coded link with the two handsome gentlemen talking about Tombstone's production. Every coming Marvel. All right, nice, Don. Nice. Alexander, what's your idea why film has so much of an SJW problem at the moment? I don't really know, Alexander. It's also great to see certain moments like this, him showing the picture of his son, and how there are certain stories that carry all their way through the film. It's brilliant writing. Like, we need more movies like this. I know this was based off a play, but why not write a movie like a play? If that's what it takes to get movies like this, I mean, God, do it. Man, oh man. Everyone's got a motive. Kids, work your heart out. He That Breathed the Fire. Damn it, Odin. You made me open up the bag of Twizzlers I got given today. Good. You eat those Twizzlers, man. That is a movie snack. Jack Klugman. Here you go. So great. Maybe you can still smell it on me. So great. And then they got the one man that's an immigrant. I mean, like, this movie has everything. Blake Hemler says, I asked my mom about the court scene in the movie my uncle was in, so she's going to talk to a friend because she had something to do with the movie he was in. All right, cool. Random Nerd of Doom. Hey, Odin, do you think in 2019 SJWs will finally leave? Unfortunately not. I doubt it. Soul's Assassin. Odin about pulls out a Three Musketeers bar soon. I've had my chocolate for the night, actually, so probably not. You're doing a beautiful job. Random Nerd Dune. Hey, Odin, how long have you been a teacher for? 4 years. This is my 4th year. Tina says, yeah, the heat and the nerves and the pressure are already getting to them. It's like a pressure cooker. It is. Like, and the film builds to a natural crescendo, and once you get to that point, everything else falls into place. And it's brilliant writing. Brilliant writing, brilliant acting. Everything is great. Which is why it's considered by many to be one of the greatest movies of all time. Myself included. Nerd of Doom, is your high school super woke? I'm not going to talk about my high school, so. At least not with questions like that. Patrick McDuff says, it's 45 degrees where I am. That sounds beautiful. It's, let's see. Let's see. Supposing they're wrong. It's 47 where I am as well, so. Soul Assassin, first year as a teacher, looks at the class and says, my name is Mr. Odin, but you can call me Mr. Yeah. Yeah, 4 years ago, I didn't have a YouTube channel. I wasn't doing any podcasts or anything, so. It's crazy this last year or so, because I started my podcast a little over a year ago at this point. Maybe a year and a half, so. Brad Noble says, Odin was raised by monks. I fought to live. It's all good, Random. I know you didn't mean anything by it, man, so I am not. I just wanted to let you know. So, main reason being is that I don't want to say anything that's going to possibly come back to me. And so, comments about school and things like that, depending on what it is. Brad Noble says, Odin will eat a rat and ask for more. Suicide Grunts, things have been going well for the most part. Hope the same is for you. Good. Glad to hear it. Things have been going well for me as well. Stephanie B, 8K. It's very, very nice. I know, not bad at all. Not bad for a year. One of those switchblade knife things. You can tell that he's very rich and proper. He's the true proper man. I do love his character too, because his, I think, is actually one of the more complex, because you don't know anything about his history, about his background, and yet he probably has one of the most dramatic arcs that's not one of the main characters, which is really cool. I love it. Brad says grows a beard for alternate food source. Blake Hemla says, a substitute teacher once called me Howie, and I told her my name's not Howie Mandel from Deal or No Deal. That's awesome. Joe says, what's up, Joe K470? So, Odin, how did you get to know Geeks and Gamers? That's where I first saw your podcast. Oh, cool. So, I found his channel earlier in 2018, started to follow his work, found inspired to try it, and asked him for some advice, and he answered me on Twitter and eventually asked me to send some of my stuff, and over time we got talking a bit more. So it's a very unusual knife. I guess the rest is history. I do love this. And I say it's not possible. And then he's like, psh, let me show you what it's like. It's the same knife. That's right, I broke the law. So great. Random says, I think SJWs are secretly lizard people from outer space using political correctness as a weapon to divide us humans and conquer us all. Could be. Thanks, Piglet. I can't now not see Piglet every time he speaks. As sure as he's born. A boy may die. Soul Assassin, I just realized Family Guy spoofed this movie. I wouldn't be surprised. Family Guy has spoofed so many things in its history. These side arguments are actually progressing the story. I love this music that plays. That sounds fair. It's always free. It's like, yeah, vote, 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 get the vote out, but only if it's gonna go our way. Ah, this music. Such a great score. It just defines the mood absolutely perfectly. Peabody, even Happy Days did their own version of 12 Year Men. They did? I'd never seen that episode. Great penmanship. I love this camera shot right here as well. Oh, how do you like that? Not guilty. There are no secrets in a jury room. Yes, Lee J. Cobb. Own it. The most lovable villain. Because, yeah, believe that's what he's actually like in life. That's what acting is. It's fantastic. Spin us fairy tales. Yeah, get him, old man. Would you like me to tell you why? So, yep, in the version that we did in high school, I was the first person to change my vote. It's very weird as a high schooler playing an old man. So let's just say I've known that this movie is fantastic for a long time. In fact, the year that we did this was the same year that we had just gotten back after Katrina. So we had been put out to Houston for a few months. And sorry. So we'd been in Houston for a few months because of Katrina. We came back and we wanted to revive the theater program, even though our director never came back because he decided to relocate. And so we ended up doing this production as a student-run show. So it was so much fun. It was great. Soul Assassin, too bad jury duty isn't like this in the real world. I know, right? We can make it like that, though, man. The rants. What's going on, dude? Tina says, old man, I changed my mind, Odin, and now this is pod racing. Baby Odin, I love it. Random, I teach theology. All Catholic school. Or I should say Catholic school. Not everyone at the school is Catholic. This guy in the ad agency is great. I love it. Erica Gaming, do your students watch you on YouTube? Yes. Yeah, some of them do. Some of them do. Some of them are subscribers. Some of them pop in the chat every now and then. So, yes, they found out about it in the fall, like within a couple weeks of school. They found out because there was a YouTube channel that had actually used a clip from one of my videos in it, and they had followed that channel. It was iDubbbz, and so they saw that, they looked up the channel, and sure enough they found it. And yeah, it was a very interesting first semester. Things have dined down a bit. Shinphil says, throw a porg in a room with 12 angry men and see what happens. Nice, Shinphil. That was actually extremely impressive what he just did with that cigarette. I hate that he's smoking, but that was impressive. Considering marmalade. That's not bad considering marmalade. Patrick Duff says, iDubbbz is funny. I miss when he did videos with Filthy Frank. Yeah, iDubbbz is okay, I guess, but he also went after me, so he grouped me in with a group of people. It was during the James Gunn stuff. Soul Assassin, your students watch you and know you. Your students watch you and know who we are. We're famous. Yeah, some of them are pretty consistent with it, which is always funny to see. Random says, hey, Odin, students that are on the chat, Odin gave you all Fs. If only there were if there were any grades going in. But all the grades that have had to go in or have been put in at this point, so. Marmalade. Who washes their hands like that on the side of a sink? I guess it's to get more of his hand. I don't know. Henry Fonda is so thin. I don't know. It's possible. Heathen Breathing Fire. Ever seen Cowboy Bebop? I'm about halfway through. Still working my way through it. Very, very slowly. I fall behind so easily on everything. Brad Noble says, for $5, Odin will send you a signed beard strand. Now, that would be weird and creepy. And so, no. No, Brad, you're wrong. The rant. How much power would you lose if you cut it? That was funny. Anyway, no, not cutting it. Not at all, rant. The power would remain, but I would be a little bit different. At some point, I'm going to get it trimmed because Freya demands it. So, Bjorn, he's Odin, not Simpson. Well, thank you, Bjorn. Yes, you're right. I'm not a biblical character. I'm a Norse god. Get it right. Yeah, the rant. Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, try being married and saying that. Excuse me, by the way. Love this movie, says Shinphil. This movie is amazing. I love it. Top 3 favorite films of all time. Heathen Breathing Fire. What Odin students don't know is he includes film of them watching his live stream and upload after. That would be creepy. No, that'd be really creepy. Not at all. Yeah. This isn't a game. Yes. Yes, Lee J. Cobb. Let the hate flow through you. Are you a sports fan, says Blake? Kind of. I'm a Red Sox fan. I love World Cup soccer, and that's kind of it as far as things that I watch or follow. Let's see. G Monkey says, when someone asks you if you're a god, say yes. Go Chiefs tomorrow, says Rogue. If I had to choose teams, I would say it's going to be Chiefs Rams, personally. And part of it is because I'm a conspiracy theorist and think the NFL is rigged, and I think the NFL wants that game, because if the NFL can get a Super Bowl like what they did the last time they played Monday Night Football together and have a giant score, ratings. So, but at this point, I think it's a 50-50 shot for either team. But if I had to choose, I'd say at this point, Chiefs, Rams for the Super Bowl. Blake says, my cousin played for the Red Sox. Nice! That's awesome. Ew. Please no, Brad. Please do not do that. Yeah, Joe, I've heard that argument too. And that would also make sense to me, is that they would love to have a Breeze versus Brady Super Bowl. But at the end of the day, people are also very tired of the Patriots. So, I don't know. Random says, if you had kids, would you name one Thor and adopt another and name the adopted one Loki, then lie to him? He would be one day become king, only for him to go crazy and turn evil. Yes, I would. Ooh. Attention, maybe. The old man. Peabody, this might come as a surprise to you, but I have never played for the Red Sox. What? That's a huge surprise, Peabody. You talk to him like that, I'll lay you out. Damn right. Yep, I had someone stand up for me in the show. It was great. Yeah, no, seriously. He makes some very good points. Blake says, my cousin who played for the Red Sox is Wade Boggs, who is a former Major League Baseball and Hall of Famer. What? Are you serious? What? That's true. That's awesome. It's a great comment. It's a great point. Because sometimes it does happen. People want to get quoted, listened to, yep. Get attention. Doesn't mean that they're necessarily lying. It just means that they can easily be drawn to say certain things. That's the most fantastic story. Blake Hamlet says, yeah, it's true. He's on my mother's side of the family. That's awesome, man. That's really cool. Does anybody want a cough drop? Oh, Piglet. He's so nice. Also, I love how the knife stays exactly where it is. It's great. Oh, those lines. Remember those lines. He called me an idiot, so I yelled at him. Oh, Piglet. Oh, Piglet. He don't even speak good English. Yes, doesn't. Ooh, the tides are turning. Love it. That'll do, Pig. That'll do. Random says, do you know it is the year of the pig this year? Really? I did not know that. I was born the year of the dragon. It was those kooky detective magazines. This guy here is really something. I also love how there are several long takes. Very impressive. Sometimes cases are lost because a lawyer is not good at their job, and that's a scary part of our legal system, actually. Just like there's sometimes cases for murderers that are thrown out because of a technicality and not because of any proof or anything. One of the issues of our legal system is definitely one of the better ones, but it's definitely not perfect. There's definitely a lot of issues that could be addressed. Soul Assassin, who's your favorite Winnie the Pooh character? I love Eeyore because he's so sad. He's so depressing. So a really great film that came out this year was what is it called? Christopher Robin. Christopher Robin was really good, and Eeyore was easily my favorite part of the movie. Blake says, I was born the year of the tiger. Nice. Steph, oh no. Yeah, Steph, I think you just missed the year of the dragon. Random says, hey Odin, why did Tigger stick his head down the toilet? Why? CW Trixie's here. What's going on? Took look for poo. He's got to change it. To look for poo. Nice. Will Gentry, your legal system is horrifying. It's not a legal system. It's a who is the best debater system. I saw how a guy who got OJ off works, and it's nothing to do with what is right or wrong, Will Gentry. Well, that's just one case. In everyday life, the system is actually, like, structurally speaking, one of the better ones. It's definitely not perfect, though. I will never say it's perfect. What is 2000 the year of? I'm not sure. You can look it up for yourself, actually. Just put what... Smart guy is great. Yeah, the rich smart guy. Because he's very, very intelligent. And he's probably the only person... What's great about him, he's the only guilty vote that has an actual, like, legitimate case in his mind, which is why his change over the course of the movie is so impressive, because he has changed on the intellectual level, not just on the level of the heart. Blake says, I'm having such a great time on your live stream tonight. I'm happy to hear that, Blake. Thank you for coming by. And we got 33 people in here, so thank you all for being here. Hope you all having fun. Will Gentry says, yeah, I don't deny that, like ours, it's very good in principle, but they are both so very open to abuse of the system if you have money for it. Yes, that is true. It is definitely more biased towards the rich than anyone else. That is without a question of a doubt. That's also why we need more people to seek to become a lawyer and to do pro bono work and to be a defense lawyer. We need more people who are actually honest, good people, not just trying to get people off with murder for the right price, but to, you know, help people that might be wrongly accused. That smile. We're all going crazy in here. Alan Sparks, what's going on, man? Hope you enjoyed Aquaman. Glad to hear you stop by. Soul Assassin, I was born in the year of the horse. No wonder why my grandma made me work in the backyard every time I went over. Nice, Soul Assassin. That's nothing but words. Tina says, my mom at one time wanted to be a defense attorney because she wanted to have some kind of justice, and me, even I testified on cases and had my doubts on the case presented. I know, seriously, because there's very rarely a open and shut case. There's usually always going to be some doubt, which is why reasonable doubt is so important. That's why I will prefer a jury over a judge making a decision any day of the week. Because judges can be bought, judges can be taken over. Juries, it's a lot harder. Is it possible? Sure, but it's a lot harder. can you tell 15 seconds? You can't judge a thing like that. Ooh. He was an old man. I could be positive about anything. Yes. God, this movie's so good. Love it. Tina, I've worked open and shut before, but sometimes even a few cases had us wondering, but it was my job to collect the evidence, not investigate it. That's awesome, Tina. Tina has some stories to tell, guys, and I love it. I love this tough guy. I forget that it's EL line. I always thought they meant like the actual L train, like the letter L, like in New York. But say, no way he could have done that. Definitely a reasonable doubt in my mind. That's for damn sure. Why didn't the lawyer ask? Because not all lawyers are smart. That's why. That's what I've been asking, buddy. You can't recreate a thing like that. G Monkey says, in Chicago, it's just L short for elevated. Yeah, that's what I figured, G Monkey. That's what I figured. You tell him, Piglet. Okay, killer. Okay, killer. Piglet. So yeah, that was my best friend, and oh god, he was so funny in that role. He was so damn funny. It's so sad that now it's like we're just calling him Piglet. The leg dragging. Also, guys, Heimdall just posted a link. $41. But anyway, Heimdall just posted a link. If you would like to let your voice be heard about what movies you thought were the best in 2018, click on that link, fill out the form. You do not have to fill out every single category, and you can take your time with it. But click on the link, save it, bookmark it, and fill it out at some point. Join in the fun. Let your voice be heard, because we're going to have our own award show on this channel the night the Oscars go, in boycott and protest. I'll let my Valkyrie explain a little bit more if you have questions. He's got to burn. Pull the switch. Blake says, I mentioned this earlier during Twitter. Ask me anything tomorrow about my animated series, and I will answer all your questions. Nice, Blake. That's awesome. Well, guys, go check out Blake. You're a sadist. Ooh. Yes. You don't really mean I'll kill you, do you? Tina says, "Oh, is there a deadline date? I have maybe 1 or 2 more movies to watch before I vote. I swear Jason Momoa won't be the response to every category." I hope not, Tina. No official end date yet because the Oscars aren't until the end of February. Oscar nominations actually go live this Tuesday. I used to watch them live as they would announce the nominations because I used to love it. But obviously, because of stupid reasons, now I can no longer support it because they've just gone so woke and so political. So I'm doing my own award show instead. We're doing our own award show instead. Should be a lot of fun. Doing some similar categories, some different categories. But I will still be following the Oscars nonetheless because I do want to see what they nominate because obviously I'll probably have a lot of commentary to make about their choices. Soul Assassin, does the DBZ Broly movie count? It was pretty good. Yeah, no. I would say no because it did not get a worldwide release in 2018, but 2019. So I would say it's eligible for 2019, but not for 2018, which is what we're voting on. So I think it was released in Japan, but I think it was only released in Japan in 2018. So I do love this speech. It's one of the reasons why we're strong. Very, very good words indeed. It's interesting how, and it's also very. Don't you ever sweat? No, I don't. Blake Hemlow says, "Here's my Twitter at @therealblake88. I will start my Twitter." Awesome. Well, guys, go follow Blake Hemlow on Twitter. Bjorn, if I respond solo in all categories, will it be accepted? It will be accepted, but not every nomination is going to be put into the final ballot to vote for the official winners, because it's gonna be a whatever get the most votes will get on the ballot first, and then me and the Valkyries will determine any other ties or anything like that. So, oh, that's me. Not guilty. Take the drag. He's such a brilliant actor. G Monkey says, "I'll be happy to vote, but if the movie doesn't have a car chase, explosions, and female nudity, I'm out. I'm such a toxic male." G Monkey. Again, you can put whatever you want there. Soul Assassin says, "Every time I had jury duty, I wanted to yell out, 'You're out of order. The whole court is out of order.'" Same here, Soul. That'd be so much. Yeah. But you'd be thrown out so quickly. Bjorn, I won't, though. Twisted Image, what up? What's going on, Twisted Image? How's it going? Oh, Piglet. Peabody, there you go, Odin. Throw it on the stoop and see what the cat licks up. Exactly right. 6-6. A kid like that. You're damn right. Facts are supposed to determine the case. I'd like to be a few years younger. Also, you can also feel that heat too. Like the whole movie you're watching, they're like, "Man, I'm starting to get hot now." Well, thank you, Steph. I appreciate that. Yeah, follow me as well on Twitter. You think too much, you get mixed up. Loudmouth. You tell him, Piglet. He is a loudmouth. Here comes the rain. At least it'll cool things off, potentially. Not here in the South, though, because then we deal with even more humidity. Tina says, I think one of the jurors played the judge in Justice for All, the dude with the hat standing with Piglet. Really? It wouldn't surprise me. As I said, every person in this movie is not only a fantastic actor, but is just known for various other things, too. Which is why I love it, because all of them are just so damn good. Brad, eating snippets of Odin's beard is better than a SAT tutor. What? Soul Assassin, have you seen Liar Liar and Jury Duty? I've never seen Jury Duty. I have seen Liar Liar. Liar Liar is one of my favorite Jim Carrey comedies. It's so great. I've had better. I've had better. Back when Jim Carrey was in his prime and before he went totally crazy and anti-vaxxer and all that nonsense. I even love that story. Like, the little story that has almost no bearing on the story whatsoever, and yet just that one, for that one line, it's murder. It's great. Suicide Grunts, what's your favorite dinosaur? Velociraptor. Ever since I saw the original Jurassic Park, Velociraptor. What's with this fan here? Hey, Oh, before central air and heat. Oh God, could any of y'all imagine being in their situation, like being in a jury room during this time of the country? And oh yeah, I love this. Because even though like the 3 minutes or so where this happens, that's a bad, stupid thing to do. I feel like it develops their characters just a little bit more, and that little bit of development just, I think, helps to, move everything forward and for you to better understand their motives and where they come from and where they eventually go. Yeah, Bjorn, the categories are for 2018 only. However, there is a lifetime achievement category that can be for any person. So, Soul Assassin, clever girl. Yes. Suicide Grunt says, cool. My favorites are to be the Spinosaurus, then the Raptors. Nice. Nice. CFD says, you should check out Viastic Park. It's a cheaply made Jurassic Park parody but with pickles? What? What? What are you... Viastic Park. What? That's crazy. That is absolutely insane. Clever girl. Don't understand the term reasonable doubt. Oh. See what he says. The movie has Velocigherkins. What? Oh, man. This exchange is also fantastic. Great emotional stress or not. Oh, Brad, you're such a damn troll. Bridge tournaments. Monday night, the Scarlet Circle. Soul Assassin, this is a kangaroo court. Bainbridge. The amazing Mrs. Bainbridge. Very inexpensive second feature. Oop, and he's beginning. Oh my God, that attention to detail. I never sweat. And there you see the single bead of sweat. And the mind begins to crumble. I love it. Random nerd, look behind you. I can see right behind me in the camera, so. You tell him, Piglet. They're all gone, my friend. Brad. The Rookie Critic, I will put you in a video if you want to be my friend. The Rookie Critic, I'm just hurt that you would tag me on Twitter to watch or share your video, and you didn't even put me in the video. And the whole video is about YouTube channels that you like. I am hurt and offended, sir. Rogue Baron says, watch out, Rostico is coming. Oh no, he is wearing AirPods. Oh no. Oh, man. Rookie Critic says, I actually forgot to put both you and Ivan. It's because you hate us. That's why. 6 or 7 inches. Down and in. This is the way it was done. Patty Duff, how much longer is the movie? About 20 minutes. About 20 minutes or so. Yeah, you tell him. Lose too much time. It's a great point. Jack Klugman, it's a great point. Ricky Critic says, well, I'll bring you more ridiculous Photoshops to make up for it. All right, sounds good, Ricky. Soul Assassin, I just left the corner store and discovered 2016 Ghostbusters in the bargain bin for $1. Not surprised by that at all, man. But, oh no, you can't get rid of it. If you erase 2016 Ghostbusters, then you're Hitler. Yeah, whatever. Rick Critic says, you can be in my premiere video. Ooh, fancy. Rogue Baron, are these uploaded somewhere later? Yes, Rogue Baron, I upload these onto the Welcome to Asgard channel every time. I also do vlogs on that channel as well, so please go check it out. I've had enough. Brad, good God. That's not an answer. What kind of a man are you? Suicide Grunt says, not even Hitler would want to watch the 2016 Ghostbusters. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Let's talk about somebody else. You can't talk like that to me. It's such a bad movie, though. It's not even that it's just woke. It's just a bad movie. It's just not well done. Yeah, 2016 Wokebusters is definitely more accurate. It's also one of the many reasons why many people don't really want another Ghostbusters. So, Blake Hemlow, thoughts on the Rogue One spinoff with Cassian Andor? Blah. I didn't care much for Rogue One in the first place, and Cassian Andor, who? Why are they making a story about him? I'm excited for The Mandalorian because that's a new character in the same universe, but this one just I don't care much for it. Eric Coleman says, not even Joseph Stalin would want to watch Ghostbusters 2016. Good God. Damn. Great shot. Ooh. I love all of the change of numbers is just fantastic. I love it. Alexander says, still never watched Solo. Oh, you didn't? Soul Assassin says, I think they want to use Cassian Andor to reach the Latin community. I'm not interested in it. Yeah, I mean, this is also another amazing sequence. This is what you do when someone is being ignorant. You don't respond. You get up, turn your back on him. I'm about to say, even the people on his side don't support him. It's amazing. Yeah, Soul Assassin, I think you're absolutely right. And it's like, when you try and pander to a community, it usually doesn't work. Suicide Grunt says, Rogue One was boring, but it's still better than Last Jedi. I would agree with you there. Tina says, some of my friends are their color. So powerful. His type. These people. Patrick Duff, the only part of the Solo I've watched were the trailers, clips, and reviews, and part of Darth Maul. Yeah. I have. Now sit down and don't open your mouth again. God, it's so powerful. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Rogue Baron says, sorry, I'm a Rogue One defender, and the name was nothing to do with it. Hey, man, I have nothing but respect for anyone that likes it, because you're totally entitled to enjoy it. Just wasn't my cup of tea, and I understand why many people would like that. Personal prejudice. Great line, too. Prejudice always obscures the truth. No hate here, random. I gave it a C. It was a C movie. Wasn't the worst movie ever made, but it just was unnecessary and mostly silly, in my opinion. Soul Assassin. Never seen Last Jedi or Solo. It was LucasArts' piss poor attitude that turned me off the sequels and new canon. Long live expanded universe. Yeah, seriously, Soul. I think you're right. Just going into the Thrawn trilogy alone has been awesome. Has been amazing. Yeah, there's only parts of Rogue One that are good in my opinion. She saw the boy. Oh, Lee J. Cobb. Yeah, Thrawn is amazing. Not just the book series, but the character of Thrawn alone is fantastic. Unshakable testimony. Lee J. Cobb. I'm not going to do any of the work because I think he's guilty no matter what happens. But again, this guy is... G Monkey says Rogue One is the only Star Wars movie I'm okay with. I think they should have ended before Leia turned around. Yeah, maybe. Patrick Duff says, why is Heimdall telling us to donate for a new vlog camera when you already have one? Oh, I didn't change it. I'm sorry. I never changed Heimdall. Thanks for pointing that out. My bad. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. All right. Thank you for letting me know about that. My bad. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Blake says, my brother-in-law met one of the guys from Game of Thrones, and the guy he met was a huge dude bigger than him. That's for sure. That's awesome. Soul Assassin. Haven't read the Thrawn books yet. Just got done with the Bane trilogy. Nice. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Bane. Thrawn's great. Everything Star Wars. What's going on, Everything Star Wars? Like the stream for Odin. Thank you very much, Everything Star Wars. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, bruv. Rogue Baron, 10K before March, and you will shave your beard. Nah, the beard's staying. Hyperin, what's going on, bruv? That's all right, Steph. No beard shaving, no eye gouging, no Gillette. Soul Assassin can't shave his beard. That's where all of his power is located. No, that's where I put all of the pencils and everything for those who were not around for it, in the very beginning and during a lot of the early live streams, I would see how many things I could put inside my beard. So you can't even see the pen that's in the beard right now, but it's in there. So at one point I had like 5 pencils inside my beard or something like that. So all of my plebeians. 2020. Had those same marks on the side of her nose. Candy fiend, damn right, Steph. Such an excellent case. Tremendous effort to look 35. Dyed hair. Blake Hemlow, PS4, Xbox One. I'm not much of a gamer, but I would go with the Xbox One only because apparently it's a very good multimedia system. Hyperprint, 12 Angry Wham in 2020. Good God, please no. I really hope they don't do that. This movie shouldn't be remade in general, but... What do you call those things in the side? 12 Angry Ramen 2022. Strange, but I didn't think about it before. Because the lawyer sucked. Jagan75, what's up, bruv? She had marks on her nose. I give you that. From glasses. For people to think she's gorgeous. Lee J. Cobb, you're such a man. I love you. Such a great villain. Again, his character arc is the most impressive because logic is what changes his mind. And he is all about logic the entire movie. How do you know what she saw? What's also interesting is that a lot of these actors and their types wouldn't really last in today's Hollywood, I would say. It's not possible? This guy. Here it is. I'm convinced. Not guilty. Damn right. Random. Hey, Odin, will Lucasfilm ever do a Yoda origin film with all the puppets and 2 humans appeal to more audiences? I don't know, Random. If I were them, I would actually do a puppet, not to do CGI, personally. Play Chemo. Can you do a recap video about my Twitter AMA, which will be talking about my animated series? I don't really do that, so... Again, I have no problem shouting you out. But I don't do that kind of thing. So thanks for asking, though. 11-1. All the eyes are on him. And now it's shown he has no evidence. He let other people speak for his arguments. Hypern says, random question, in your opinion, did you think Marlon Brando, I think it mean, was woke regarding the Oscar rejection back then? No? No, I wouldn't say so. Brad Noble says, Odin is not the voice for fatty change. What? What are you talking about? Yeah, Marlon Brando. I was like, what? Brandon Marlowe? Who's Brandon Marlowe? Brandon Marlowe. I love it. Definitely one of the best endings. Tina, Brad is picking out pieces of everyone's conversation and making it crazy. Oh, God, of course he is. Hypern. Next thing you know, I say Robert De Niro or De Niro, Robert, or Pacino, Al. Random nerd. Hey, Odin, who would win in a fight between the Justice League or the Jedi Council? Should be the Jedi Council, but if you mean from today's movies, then I would say no. Rogue Baron, Odin is so still. I think the streaming is buffering. No, I'm just so... I love it. He's the speech and then all the shots of their faces, just looking into his soul. I love it. Bleeding hearts. I'm in the zone right now. You're so right. You're so right. There it is. What's also interesting is that in the picture, that kid, his kid looks a lot like the kid that was on trial. So in this one moment, you work your life out. God. Lovely J. Cobb. Ah, so freaking powerful, man. I would say my one critique, my one problem with this movie is that instead of ending it here, and you'll see what I mean in a second, but the ending is the only thing I would change. It's not this part because we're not at the ending yet, but that's the only thing that I would change. And you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. Everything Star Wars. Your thoughts on the Star Wars theory issue, Odin? I did a couple videos dedicated to that, and I spoke out against it when they did the claim, and I praised Lucasfilm when they stepped in, but it's a step. It's definitely not changed anything yet. Hypern, what is your overall favorite all-time Asgardian movie night stream experience? Oh, God. I don't know. The Exorcist was a fun one. That was one of the first streams that we ever did, and because of that, it was a lot of fun. So it's really hard to choose, at least at this point. Blake Hemlow, what would you recommend for a microphone for YouTube videos? Because I talk with a thick East Coast accent. I use the Blue Snowball. It's cheaper, and I think it does a very good job. So I would recommend that one. But there are plenty of good ones. I would say for starters, do a USB microphone. Just do some research, watch some YouTube videos, and see what you think would fit your voice best. Soul Assassin, almost fell to the dark side for a second over the Star Wars theory situation. No, seriously, same here. Hypern, exactly, my brother. No movie is perfect regardless of how amazing they are. Very true. Exactly right. Your thoughts on episode 9? See, like, this shot right here. He's looking back on the room, and then all of a sudden, the camera pans, and just in this quick pan, you get all that you need about the movie. That would have been a perfect time, but instead they're transitioning because you see they're doing something else. But this pan right here is exactly where they should have ended it. Now, that being said, I still think the ending they chose is powerful because each one comes out, everyone's going in their own direction. And also, this is the first time in the play this does not happen, just so you know. This part here. Davis, McCardle, no names in the original play. But what I do like about this ending is that it shows they're all going off in their own direction, doing their own thing, possibly never to see each other ever again. And who do you see? Lee J. Cobb, thinking about life. It is a good ending. Like, again, that's the only thing, if it were me, that's the only thing that I would change. And then it's going to go through each of the cast members. Again, every single freaking one of them is amazing. But Lee J. Cobb, easily one of the best bad guys of all time. And, oh, man, it's so good. But anyway, thoughts on episode 9. So I think episode 9 needs to do a lot if it wants to bring the fandom back. I don't think it's really in that position at this point. I'm going to go see it. I'm not going to probably pay a ticket to go see it, but I'm planning to see it nonetheless. Hybrid says, thanks for answering. I agree with the extra stream. Gave you the heebie-jeebies. Oh, God, it did. Alexander says, maybe Odin is one of the premature endings. Is one for premature endings. All right, that's not funny, Alexander. Don't know why you would say that. Peabody, Odin, that stairway looks like a lawsuit waiting to happen. I think you're right, Peabody. It's one slip and then boom, you're done. Well, anyway, guys, that was 12 Angry Men. So I know for some of you, it was your first time ever seeing it, and yeah, I hope that you enjoyed it, because again, as I said, it's easily, again, one of my top favorite movies of all time. So. But let me go ahead and get this thing going. All right. So, anyway, thank you so much for being a part of this. It wasn't a dirty joke. Okay, well then, how else would you mean that? Like, you might be trying to save face now, but I don't know how else you would have meant that comment. Soul Assassin, episode 9, everything but the kitchen sinks. No, seriously, like, they need to do pretty much anything and everything to be able to somehow salvage it. Ariak says, how do we vote on the next movie night? I vote Goonies. All right, Eric, don't worry. We're going to get there, man. We're going to get there. Thanks for joining. Will Gentry says, episode 9, I will only go see if we see Luke being a total badass, and only then, because it's the last chance ever to see him kick ass on the big screen. If we don't see that, I just don't care. Will Gentry, I think that's a very good justification. I think that a lot of people might actually have that justification, saying, maybe not to go see it in the theater, but to eventually watch it for that reason. I can see. Hybrid says, Odin, check number 5 in the top 250, another more to go. Yep, exactly right. In the top 250, I always try and look at that list because I think it's a great list. The IMDb top 250 is probably one of the best like collections. At least the top 10 to 20 are mostly solid, and it changes all the time. And yeah, this is number 5 in the top 250. Again, one of the all-time greatest films, not just from me, but from many other people as well. Soul Assassin, Goonies Never Say Die. So, with that in mind, guys, let me start hearing some genres. We don't vote just on pure movies. The way we do it is we first vote for a genre, and then once we have a genre, then we vote for a movie. So, what are some genres? 12 Angry Chatters are about to happen. Episode 9 is not Star Wars, yeah. Steve McQueen movies. Ariak says, I've seen 12 Angry Men many, many times. Didn't mean to skip out, but high school flashbacks. Oh, Ariak, did you just come in because you wanted to vote? How dare you? Tina says, I knew Odin was going to ask them, and I'm not ready. Blake Hemla says, what about the Rambo movies? Rambo, all right, 80s films, for sure. I think is a, oh, hold on. Pick one. So 80s films. Someone had said Steve McQueen. Movies. Adventure, fantasy adventure. Fantasy adventure. Okay, we got Edwards. We got 80s films are already in there. Movies made by the South Park writers. Steve Martin movies. I think that one's going to be like an ever... To me, it's almost like Potent Potables from from SNL. Potent Potables. Steve Martin is going to be there until we vote on the jerk. And film noir. I like film noir. I think that's a good choice. Perfect. So we got 5 categories. So as it goes, let me just go ahead and create poll. Boom. The poll has been created. All right, guys. So y'all know how this works. I'm going to spam the link. So pay attention. I'm about to spam the link in the chat. That is where you will click the link to vote. You will be able to vote once. And then I'll give y'all like a couple minutes. And then whatever category wins, from there we will choose movies to vote on in that category. So, and then of course we're going to tell people, where's the link? Where's the link? It's the one that I've spammed. It's the one that I'm spamming right now. It's the spammed link. Don't spam us. It's not nice. I have to, because that's the only way. I don't like spam. I don't like spam either. What actually is film noir? So film noir is like detectives. So like classic detectives, usually it's like black and white, because it means noir itself means dark. So normally they were shot in a much darker tone, so not a whole lot of light was used. And normally it was detective movies, femme fatale type films. So basically, mostly it just means darker films, and that tended to be anything else, JK. Mighty namaste. All right, anyway, so let me go ahead and get this back up. So I am going to vote, I'm going to vote 80. No, Steve Martin. I'm going to vote Steve Martin. What? 80s films is not... I thought for sure 80s films would be winning this. Oh. Oh, man. We got 11 votes. We got, what, 30 people in here? So I better see 30 votes. We only got 11 so far. We've got 12. We've got 12. Actually, and also let me go ahead and fix this, because everyone's saying, I can't see it. I can't see it. So for whenever we do votes... Actually, maybe it'll be better down here. No, because the clock should be up here. So, all right, y'all should still be able to see that. So I'm just gonna chill on this side of the chat. All right, there we go. Now I can pop this one back up. All right, cool. So I just voted. Hypern says done. I tried to vote twice. Yeah, good luck with that. We got 15 votes. Ooh, 15. Still, there's like 29 people in here, though. So, I don't know why. 27 people in here. So, we should have 27 votes, guys. Don't chill out in the chat and don't vote. Film Noir got no votes. Damn. That's interesting. Soul's asking, Odin, is Blade Runner a noir film? I would say so. I would count that as film noir for sure. We've already watched Blade Runner, though, so... Fortunately, that would not be eligible because we've already seen it. Peabody says, Odin is throwing canned ham. Voted, do I get a sticker? I know, seriously, right? My vote didn't register. What did you vote for, Big Day Summy? How do you know that it didn't register? How do you know it did not register? I liked it when we could cheat. Yeah, those were the days, weren't they? For film noir. I don't know why that wouldn't work. Well, it's only one vote, so... Maybe some people do vote and it doesn't count them. I don't know. Let's see. Voting... what is it? Voting app? Not voting app. Voting website. Maybe I'll try a different website. Guess I could use SurveyMonkey. No, wait, I'm using another site already. Don't worry, this one's gonna stick for the genre, but I'm trying to see if maybe there's gonna be another one that maybe I could do for another one. Soul Assassin says, "Oh, I know. I was just wondering what genre it was in." Okay, I got you. I got you, Tina. Yeah, my vote wasn't showing up either. Oh, so we've got more than one. Okay. All right. Well, then we will then. Okay, because it's more than one. Let me see. How do I create a poll? in this? Create survey? All templates? No, that's not it. What's the site that I'm using for, what site am I using? Shoot. What is the site that I'm using for, crap. How do I create a poll? I could have sworn that you can create a poll in SurveyMonkey. Because it says quick poll right here. I don't know. Peabody says, why not use Streamlabs? Is it too easy to cheat? No, it was just because I couldn't, I can't get it to come up on the screen. It's because I can't get it to come up on the screen. So let me... But anyway, Fantasy Adventure is the one that won. Unless y'all want me to do it again. Do y'all think because multiple people didn't show up? All right, it takes a while to set up. All right, so let me go ahead and do it through Streamlabs then and see if it's any better. Do y'all want me to go ahead and do another poll for the genres, or are y'all okay to try something else? Revote? Yeah, I mean, since it's more than one, if it was just one person, I would say maybe it was just a fluke. But since it was, that's what I voted for to win. Well, then if that vote was accurate, then it'll be fine. So let's see, pick one. So Fantasy Adventure. Yeah, I want to make sure it's fair for everybody. So 80s movies. And then, yeah, the only reason why I never did this is because it wouldn't show up. Like, there's no way to show, like, a little, I like y'all being able to see physically, like, how the polling's looking. That's the only reason why I even did straw poll. But this is, like, the second or third time that we've had issues with it, so I guess I'll just go back to the Streamlabs because it seems like it's the better option. All right, 80s movies was an option. Steve Martin was an option as well. Film noir was an option. And then what was our fifth option? Odin is so No, I just try and keep things fair. I have Fantasy Adventure. Steve McQueen, thank you. Steve McQueen was the one that I forgot. Steve McQueen. All right, so I've got all those options. So let's go ahead and start. There you go. The poll has started, everybody. So make sure you go ahead and use those options. So again, exclamation point, vote, and then put a space, and then 1, 2, or 3. So exclamation point, vote, space. Odin isn't racist. He's a lizard man in disguise as a film critic. Nice, random. And so I voted for Steve Martin, I think. No, I voted for 80s movies. I don't even remember what I voted for. I'm going to vote for 80s movies this time, though. So, all right. Let's see if there's any difference. So film noir has 2 votes. So for the 2 that voted for film noir, your votes have registered this time. Something tells me because just the way the votes worked that first time, though, it's not going to be much of a difference. But, again, I just want to make sure that it's fair. Again, I just want to make sure it's fair, not just for this vote, but for future votes as well. Because, obviously, as you can see from here, there is a lot of love for the fantasy adventure genre. So it looks like it's going to end up winning again anyway, which I'm actually happy with because I wouldn't want everything to change and the winner to change for anything else. So... All right, just need to take care of that. All right, let's see where we are here. All right, I think everyone has had a chance to vote. Joe Cook, what's going on, dude? Blake Hamlow, quick question. I have my own book coming out sometime in the near future, which is filled with all of my quotes. Cool. Brad Noble, this is so white. I milked Odin's beard. What? Soul Assassin. Odin, the votes are not rigged. Wink, wink. Well, yeah, your vote only counts once, by the way. So if you try to spam it, don't worry. Your vote only counts once, and it's able to keep track of your username. So anyway, the winner, as Heimdall will tell you, boom. Fantasy Adventure has won the day. So, congratulations to Fantasy Adventure. So let me start hearing some Fantasy Adventure options. So now we all get to vote on an actual movie. So let me hear some Fantasy Adventure options, guys. Flash Gordon. We're watching Flash Gordon next week, actually. And Tina's been looking for ways to show it. Just so y'all know, forewarning, next week we are watching Flash Gordon. Forewarning, Flash Gordon is not available to rent digitally. So unless you own the film, you might have some issues finding it online. So we just wanted to put that out there. But that's what people voted for, so we're going to stick to it for now. So we'll see it. Wrath of Khan. Okay, yeah, because that would be, yeah, Star Trek. All right, Wrath of Khan. All right, we got Wrath of Khan, The Last Jedi, The Never-Ending Story. I'm assuming you mean the first one. Never-Ending Story. The Jerk. The Jerk is not... I know that you love it so much. Fantasy Adventure. Is Goonies really Fantasy Adventure, though? Is Big Trouble in Little China Fantasy Adventure? I need clarification from people. Hey, Odin, let's watch The Last Jedi. Pan's Labyrinth. Willow. Does Dark Crystal count? I wouldn't... I don't know. Fellowship of the Ring. Miyazaki. Ooh. It's just plain creepy. What's plain creepy? I need context, people. Willow. Is Willow Fantasy Adventure? Big Trouble is not. Okay, I gotcha. Big Trouble is fantasy. G Monkey says Big Trouble is not. Will Gentry, thank you. Big Trouble in Little China is fantasy adventure. Yes, it has fantasy elements in it, magic and stuff. Okay, well then I'll put Big Trouble in Little China as an option. Bro, sorry. Big Daddy says Conan. Conan. Oh boy. I'm assuming you mean the original. Big Trouble in Little China is creepy and not fantasy. Someone said it was. Willow is too. It has magic also. All right, I'll put Willow. I did see several people say Willow, so I'll put Willow. I have Conan. Boy and the Beast is fantasy adventure. So is Howl's Moving Castle. Willow is fantasy adventure. Okay, cool. The Room, definitely not. All right, and then I'm going to put fantasy adventure, Howl's Moving Castle, or The Boy and the Beast. So I've actually never seen The Boy and the Beast. So I'll put a Miyazaki on. No, actually, that's not Miyazaki. Sorry. But Boy and the Beast. Because I've actually never seen The Boy and the Beast. But yeah, that's definitely, from what I know about it, it's definitely got fantasy elements to it. So anyway, boom. Those are the options. And start. There you go, guys. Those are your options. So let's see. If I had to choose one, I'll go Boy and the Beast because I've never seen that, and I already know that there's a lot of other people that are gonna have many other different opinions than I am. Remember, you have to put exclamation point, vote, a space, and then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Ooh, this is going to be a close one. Oh, the vote is split. Make sure your voice is heard. Again, exclamation point, vote, put a space, and then 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5. So 0 is Wrath of Khan, 1 is Neverending Story, 2 is Big Trouble in Little China, 3 is Conan, 4 is Willow, 5 is Boy and the Beast. Again, exclamation point, vote, space, and then one of those numbers. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Please vote for everyone. I really want Odin to see Willow. It's close. It's close. I can say that much. It's definitely close. It's very interesting to see this vote. So, exclamation point vote is one word, then you put a space, and then you put the number. Sorry, I know it can be a little complicated. And I'll put those options one more again. So, copy. And then let me make sure to use the bot. Otherwise, it's not going to show up right for you guys. All right, so those are the options one more time. So again, exclamation point, vote, a space, and then the number. So that is how you would do it, but substitute the hashtag with the actual number. So that is how it will register. Otherwise, it will not register. All right, so you have to do it that way. Otherwise, the vote will not register. I also don't like this because it doesn't tell me how many people in total voted. And that means I have to do math. And I hate doing math. Oh, the puppies are here. Pete 1972, what's going on, dude? Hi, Odin. You're watching one of the best movies ever. Oh my god, yeah, we finished it, and it is easily in my top 3 of all time. What is Willow? Well, other than my dog, so this is Willow right here. But Willow is also a Warwick Davis film. I've actually never seen it. So Hypern says, get a Mentat? Pan's Labyrinth. Sorry, man. That did not make it onto the list. Oh, guys, this is close. Has everyone voted? I voted for Hillary Clinton. It's not that vote. Oh, man. Where's River? River is on the ground laying down because she's tired, so... A Mentat is basically a human computer. Interesting. Oh, for the math. Of course, Odin hates doing math. He's a theater teacher, not a math teacher. No, I'm not a theater teacher. I'm a theology teacher. I'm not even a theater teacher. I like theater, but I don't. Runoff time. Nah. Because right now there is one vote separating the top 2. So there is a winner, but it's very close. So that's why I want to make sure everyone had a chance to vote. Mr. PY says, Willow is Val Kilmer, Warwick Davis, Sword, and Sorcery Adventure. Okay, cool. Super says, also, Odin, sorry I dropped out of the chat. Realized I couldn't watch stream and focus on the movie at the same time. Dude, the movie's fantastic. So glad I caught the stream when I watched it. Yeah, that's one of the bad things about it is that if it was ideal, I wouldn't speak. But then at the same time, well, then why would you be watching the stream? So it's one of those tough things for me. I don't do PE. Tina says, just saw the announcement on the Crimson Sin YouTube channel that the Lego Movie sequel will have an animated cameo of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. What? Why? Oh my god, that's stupid. That's stupid. But anyway, guys, for those that did not vote yet, here are the options one more time. So again, exclamation point vote, put a space, and then choose your number. And that is how you would be able to vote. So I just want to make sure everyone's gotten a chance to vote because this is a very, very close race. And I just want to make sure that everyone has indeed had their voice heard. Or also if we're going to have to do a runoff at some point. So Hybrid says, Cats is the best fantasy adventure. Oh my god, yes. Cats the musical. Memory all alone in the moonlight. Ariak says, Willow is George Lucas's story directed by Ron Howard. Interesting. Coach Millhouse, Odin, my brother, so cool. You're a theology teacher. At which level? 10th and 11th this year. But so far, my 4 years, I've taught between 9th and 11th grade. So, which movie is winning? I'm not gonna say because I don't want to influence the vote this time. I voted for Boy and the Beast, but Boy and the Beast, I can say for a fact, is not anywhere close. But I say there's one with 6 votes, one with 5, one with 4. And then there is one with 3, and then 2 have 2 votes. So, Blake Hemlow, I vote Willow. Well, that's not how you vote. You got to put exclamation point, vote, space, and then 0, 1, 2, 3, or 5. And again, just look at what I posted earlier, and you'll see how to vote. Close the vote. The suspense is killing us. Just want to make sure everyone had a chance. All right. Valkyrie, does it look like everyone has had a chance to vote? Odin, can we do a double feature Friday? I don't have the strength. Not at this point. Maybe when we hit 10K. See, when we do the 10, whenever I hit 10K, we're gonna plan to have like a multi-hour stream, and I think that we can cram everything together. We can do like a movie. We can do a have the patrons on portion. We could do so many things. So many things. 70V says yes. All right, so guys, the poll has indeed ended, and the winner, as you can see, is Willow with 6 votes. So guys, 2 weeks from tonight, we will be watching Willow. So once again, next week we'll be watching Flash Gordon, which is a movie I've never seen. And then 2 weeks from tonight, we'll be watching Willow, which is another movie that I've never seen. And it's only appropriate that my dog Willow, who was not named after this Willow, but instead was named after Willow from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because it was one of me and my wife's favorite shows. Random Nerd of Doom. Odin, could you do a FX lightsaber giveaway like Star Wars Theory did? What's an FX lightsaber? You mean like one of the fancy ones? I don't even have one of those. Rogue Baron says, what were the order of the movies? So next week, so a week from today is Flash Gordon. 2 weeks from today is Willow. That is currently what's going on. Hybrid says, you're basically a badass teacher version of Batman. In day, you're a theology teacher. At night, you are the caped crusader critic with a... Well, thank you, Hybrid. I appreciate it. Will Gentry says, Odin, you are in such a treat for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, it's always great because I love to see movies that I've seen before because I can talk about them. I can do commentary and stuff. But I also love seeing movies that I've never seen before as well. And I know that some people like to see my reactions when we watch those types of films too. So I'm definitely excited for it. P-Bye says, Odin, we will be watching Willow sleep for 2 hours. Yeah, yes, you will. That is a true statement. Super says, Flash, he'll save every one of us. Yes, that's like the only part of it I know. That and Gordon's alive. Rogue Baron, no, who won and lost? So Willow won for 2 weeks from tonight. 70 says, bunnies, it must be bunnies. Anya, Vengeance Demon. Yes, that's right. Oh my God, that's right. The Vengeance Demon. That's right. Bunnies, it must be bunnies. Tina, on which date will we do my Valkyrie birthday movie? We'll have to work that out in, I would say maybe we make that 3 weeks out, but we can talk about that. We can determine that before next week, so that way we can let everyone know that next week might be a break from voting, and then we'll put that one in there. But yeah, definitely gonna do that for you, Tina. Flash Gordon cannot be rented. So yeah, guys, Flash Gordon cannot be rented. To my knowledge, it can be bought. It can be purchased. And I don't think it's that expensive, but you can't rent it. So unfortunately, that is not a possibility. I don't have it at all, so I'm going to have to rent it myself. Rather, I'm going to have to buy it myself. So Pete says, I would not be surprised that most people would vote for Big Trouble, but it is awesome. Yeah, 3 people voted for Big Trouble in Little China. And this does not mean that any of the movies that lost are not awesome. It just means that more people are in the mood to see Willow in this chat 2 weeks from tonight than not. And as I say all the time, there are 52 weeks in a year. Means that there are 52 films that we can watch in a given year. So there is still plenty of time and plenty of movies that we have left to watch. So Patrick McDuff says, do you watch the YouTube channel Yellow Flash Incorporated? Nope. Coach Millhouse, Odin, I am also a teacher in high school. How do you deal with your students knowing about your channel? So they found out about it within the first 3 weeks of school. It became a huge thing where they talked and, were clapping and doing all this other, stuff. Asking me questions. It was actually a lot of fun, to be perfectly honest. And then over time, it just slowly died away, and it just became a part of the reality. And I think that some of them are still like, yeah, my teacher's a YouTube channel person. Like, yeah, my teacher has over 8,000 subscribers on YouTube. So I think it's still something that they talk about, probably privately, but it's actually not really been much of a thing at all. And, some of the administration heard about it, but I don't think any of them watch YouTube. So none of them have really watched the content in general. And yeah, so that's pretty much how I handle it. I basically just treated it like I treated every day like a regular day. If they asked me questions, I would, if there was nothing else to talk about, I'd say, all right, I'll tell you about, what it's like. Super says, Odin, for being one of the biggest bands of the decade, Queen agreed to do soundtracks for a couple of really crazy movies. Wait, that's Queen that did Flash? I had no idea if that's the case. That's pretty amazing. Suicide Grunt says, what's the best movie soundtrack? Yeah, because you're saying soundtrack, you're saying soundtrack, not score. There's a difference. Best movie soundtrack. Oh, God. There's a couple that for some reason I'm not thinking of. But, like, they're known for their soundtracks. And I'm blanking right now. There is one. Maybe someone will mention it in the chat, but I can't remember right at this moment. Will Gentry says, seriously, though, I'm happy that Willow won. I was really dejected when it lost previously. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Will. I'm very glad to hear that. Tina, sounds good. Random Nerd of Doom, I wish you were my high school teacher back when I went to high school. My teachers in high school sucked. Well, trust me. Trust me. So I know that there are some students of mine who do not like me as a teacher. And you know what? I'm not there to be liked. That's not my job. If my job were to be liked, then it would be very different. But that's not my job. So so you might think that, but I'm not the same person. I mean, I'm the same person, but I obviously don't do this in the classroom. There is a teacher, Odin. Soul Assassin says, message for your students, pop quiz on Monday. Well, that would be a huge surprise, seeing that we don't have school on Monday. Coach Mala says, thanks, Odin. Going through that myself, and it freaked me out a bit. Yeah, I mean, it can definitely be daunting, but I can say that it's overall something that, as long as you take it in stride and you make sure that they understand that doesn't make you any less than a teacher, and that doesn't mean that they can talk to you or treat you and also that they know that if you jump on, like the big thing for me is that very early on when they found out about it, they started jumping into the live streams and putting random things. And I made it very clear saying, guys, just so y'all know, it's very easy for me to find out who you are. And if you put something inappropriate, you are still representing our school. And so over time, they eventually lost interest, though. There are still a few students that come around every now and then. Hybrid says, I wish Luke was the Gandalf or Obi-Wan in the new Star Wars. Also, as Yoda implied in Episode 5 about another new Jedi. Would have been awesome if he or she had an arc like Aragorn instead of Rey. I would agree with you there. Suicide, score if you want to. What? Dion, yes, Queen did the soundtrack. What? Nice. That's awesome. Will Gentry, Highlander is the best soundtrack. Interesting. Super says, Queen wrote the Highlander soundtrack and did at least the theme song for Flash. What? That's awesome. Peabody, you didn't know Queen did Flash? I had no idea. Again, I've never seen it. I had no idea. Brad says, we know Odin. That's why I only say horse on occasion. Yeah. Steph says, you'll be okay. You freaked out a bit, but since Odin never cusses. Yeah, exactly. So I already had prepared myself for that by making sure that I didn't have anything that, was too over the top. Pete says, I can't choose my favorite soundtrack or score, though the list would probably be filled with John Williams. See, score, John Williams, absolutely. But soundtrack is a whole other animal. G-Monkey says, Guardians 1, definitely. Guardians 1 for sure. Greta, hope work was fine. The movie was fantastic, of course, because it's amazing. In terms of soundtracks, I think Top Gun. Top Gun is another great soundtrack. Yes. Soul Assassin, what's your opinion on the Transformers song, You Got the Touch? I actually don't know that song, so I have no opinion because I don't know it. But anyway, everyone say hello to Greta in the chat. But it is now 9:14, and this poor old man must now retire, must go into the Odin sleep to prepare for Mass tomorrow. Because, as I say constantly, I'm a Catholic school teacher, but I'm also a devout Catholic, and I actually serve at my church. So I get up for my 8 a.m. Mass. Alexander says, you say you will trace students and punish them. It's not that I'm tracing them. Most of them don't realize that their names are their channels, or that I could easily ask around to find out if someone said something inappropriate. So luckily that's never been a problem. Or if it has been a problem, my Valkyrie have taken care of it before I've even been able to tell. So Hiram says, the cat goose is Captain Marvel is doing the inside job of actually marketing Cats 2019. What? Super says, Sing Street also has Sing Street. Oh my God, because that's original music too, so it's great. Yes. Blake Hemler says, I don't want to go back to school, college on Monday. Ooh, you know what? Back to the Future has a very good soundtrack. Edward Coleman, best soundtrack is Afro Samurai, but then again, I'm a diehard Wu-Tang Clan fan. Interesting. Rogue Baron says, Introibo ad altare Deo, ad Deum quae latificat Juventutum meum. Sorry, I don't know Latin actually, because ever since Vatican II, we've switched over to the Novus Ordo, the ordinary form. But I do love the Latin Mass, and I really want to learn more Latin. The Mass that I go to is the ordinary form of the Mass, so it's the one that's said in English. But we actually do a lot of things like Latin Mass. For example, everything is ad orientem, so everything is facing the altar, which is really cool. And we do a couple other things too. Every time the priest that says the Mass always says Eucharistic Prayer 1, which is actually the closest English translation to the original Latin Mass Eucharistic Prayer. Coach Millhouse says, any chance I can ask you a couple questions further outside your stream, Discord? Sorry if this is inappropriate for the chat. Not at all, Coach Millhouse, not at all. And yeah, reach out to me, man. No problem at all. Blake, yes, everybody go check out Blake Hemlau on Twitter. He's doing a Twitter Ask Me Anything around 1 p.m. tomorrow, so go check him out, please. Suicide Grunts, thanks for answering my questions. No problem, Suicide. Hybrid says, you saw the cat in Captain Marvel trailer. Okay, gotcha. He doesn't want to be there. Obviously, in his mind, he's thinking, go see cats, see this. Oh, that's awesome. But anyway, guys, Latin is indeed a dead language, but it is still one that's used. It's actually still the official language of the church. Fun fact. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much for joining me tonight. I hope you all enjoyed the movie. If you've never seen it before, it is, again, one of my all-time favorite movies. And guys, please join us next week when we watch Flash Gordon. It is set to be a very good time. But also, guys, for the streaming schedule, I have a stream on Monday and also on Tuesday evening. Tuesday is going to be the One Man Low Council. I think that I'm going to be able to get one of my patrons, Laura, on the stream, so it's going to be very exciting. And then Monday will just be a regular Welcome to Asgard stream. If anything happens, because for those who follow me on Twitter, I am now a uncle for the 4th time. And so, but she came early, and so there's still some things in the hospital. Everyone's fine for now. Everything's fine for now, but it's still something that might take my attention away. But I think that we should still be okay for the streams. But I will let you know on Twitter and also on Discord as well if anything like that changes. But anyway, that's the streaming schedule for now. Is going to be, again, Monday, Tuesday, and then of course next Saturday as well. And I think I'm going on someone else's channel at some point over the next week or so. So follow me on Twitter for that. Blake Amlau, you have a good night. Big Daddy Sunbeam, you have a good night. Hyper and Bruv, you have a good night. Peabody, good night. Greta, which one of your siblings had another baby? It was my older brother. Tina, we'll be praying for your niece. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Pray also for my sister-in-law as well, because she went through a very difficult time. So please keep her in your prayers as well. But anyway, guys, you are all amazing, beautiful people. Let me go ahead and give my shout out one more time to my patrons: A Great Jedi, Adam Shawhan, Dave Bob, Delete System 32, Donald Hudson, Edward Coleman, Enrique Evangelista, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Greta Zenner, Harold Francis, The Hunka Chunky, Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, It's a Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, Laura Story, Matthew Kadish, Mr. Peabody, and his evil twin, Outpost Dyer, Perpetual Punster, Proper Jeremy, The DJD Show, Those Two Ball Guys, Tina B, and Wolfgang Lounge. Thank you very much for being my patrons. You're all amazing people. And also, if you are a $5 or more backer, there is a new podcast episode of the Odin's Movie Blog podcast available on the Patreon. And just look to the post. You'll see it. You can download it. You can listen to it straight on the app. You can listen to it on the website. Whatever you want to do with it, it is for you. And there's some important stuff about what I want to do with the future of the podcast. So please listen to it if you are able and if you can. And if you can give me feedback as well, I would greatly appreciate it. And also, you guys are just amazing people. So, Pete, you have a good one. Super, you have a good one. Steph, yes, indeed. Find me on Twitter as well. Super, congratulations to your family. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Peabody. Your brother had a baby. Interesting. Yeah. I see where you're going with that, Peabody. Piper Duff says, I got an ad right in the middle of this live stream. What? I don't know why, because there is an option that you actually have in the live stream thing to press play ad, but I've never done it before. So I don't know why, but sorry to hear that. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. You are all amazing and beautiful people. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I love you all. And as always, God bless and rock on.